I still remember the day everything changed. I was vacuuming under my daughter Lily's bed when I found her diary wedged between the mattress and the wall. It slipped open as I picked it up, and the first thing I saw was my name, underlined 3 times, with the words, "I hate her," written in bold capital letters. I should have closed it immediately. I didn't. I'm not proud of that. Lily had been distant for months, quiet, locked in her room for hours. I told myself it was normal 16-year-old behavior, but my husband kept saying something felt wrong. At first, the diary was filled with typical teenage worries, boys, friends, teachers. Then the entries changed. She wrote about hurting herself, how, where no one would notice, how the pain helped when everything else felt too heavy. My hands shook as I turned the pages. She wrote about wanting to disappear, wondering if anyone would really miss her. She thought her dad might cry, but that I would probably feel relieved. There was a poem about feeling invisible in her own home, about screaming with no sound. I recognized lines from the sad songs she played endlessly in her room. I sat on her bedroom floor reading for an hour. That's when I saw myself through her eyes. The year before, my sister had been diagnosed with cancer. I threw myself into helping her, chemo visits, caring for her kids, cooking meals. I believed I was holding everything together, but Lily wrote about missed soccer games, about how I never asked about her day anymore, how I always sounded tired. She wrote that I had time to talk for hours about my sister, but not for her. The hardest entry was about her birthday. I had promised to be home for dinner. My sister had complications, and I stayed at the hospital. I never called. Lily wrote about sitting alone with her cake, checking her phone again and again. At midnight, she blew out her own candles and went to bed. She ended that entry with 1 sentence. Mom has a new daughter now. She doesn't need me anymore. I put the diary back exactly where I found it and went to my room and cried until I couldn't breathe. That night, I told my husband I needed to change. I didn't tell him about the diary, only that I finally understood how much I had neglected Lily. He hugged me and said, "Thank you," like he'd been waiting for me to see it. The next day, I took Lily out of school for lunch. I didn't force answers. I just told her I missed her and that I was sorry. I promised to be there again, and this time I meant it. I kept my promises. I went to her games. I protected our weekly time together. I remade her birthday cake just because. Slowly, she began to laugh again. Her music played with the door open. The house felt lighter. 3 months later, Lily left her diary open on her bed. I think it was on purpose. The page said, "Mom's back." She had crossed out her old poem and written a new one, about being seen, about someone choosing to fight for you when you've stopped fighting for yourself. I never told her I read that diary, but now she's 19, in college, and she calls just to check on me. Once, before hanging up, she said, "Thanks for fighting for me back then, Mum." Reading that diary changed everything. It saved our relationship, and it may have saved her life.